What is going on? I'm zmoT. Today is the March 32nd version of the War Factory. You did not hear that incorrectly. We are skipping right over April Fool's Day because there's been enough trauma already. Nonetheless, gunboat energy, 25%. Pretty sure that's better than what I have. If you're ever unsure, just click the deploy button. Look at that. Moving up from the worst, crappiest statue up to just the second worst, crappiest statue. We're going to deploy that bad boy right there. Just picked up an extra gunboat energy or two. Speaking of gunboat energy, make sure you upgrade your gunboat. So important. If you're not sure about what order to upgrade things on Boom Beach, please don't hesitate to reach out. This is going to be a doozy for low levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 lasers. That sounds like some sort of song. 16 candles, I believe it is. What we're going to do is, I don't even know at this point. We're going to just give this a shot. I don't know if this is a good idea, a bad idea. I don't know if... Let's just check. That zmoT will not range, so that should be good. I'm going to mark these two over here. We're going to drop Everspark over here, and then I'm going to bring her right over into here, just making sure we don't go anywhere near that zmoT. Then we're going to double hack the rockets. Now, if you're asking yourself, what the heck are you doing? There is a bit of a purpose behind this. My thinking is, if we go to the left, we're going to do all right. Going to the right, lasers, low levels, awful. That is the most feedback I've gotten from all of my subscribers over the times, is that lasers ruin everything. People aren't super comfortable with smoke, so lasers just make any sort of gap into an absolute nightmare. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to drop all of my troops right about here, and we're just going to see how far into this mess we can get, trying to get some damage on that front Doom Cannon there. We are not going to be able to stick around for long because we don't have a ton of gunboat energy. Just need one crate to go down so that we can keep moving on forwards. Now I'm going to flare onto here, just to get a little bit more damage onto that Doom Cannon before all of the shocks run out, and then we're just going to retreat. No sense wasting troops here. That was a bit of a mess. Now, you hopefully have Zookas loaded, so you have something different than Grenadiers. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to load all of the Zookas, and then we're going to come in. Now, typically I don't change troops, so we're just going to pretend like I had Zookas this whole time, because those Grenadiers didn't do a heck of a lot of good for us. Now, during that swap, I also changed to brick, which would have been a mistake. Next up on our radar, we are going to damage these rockets over here. I'm going to carefully clear these mines on the shore, and the reason for that is if I would have used a barrage there, we would have probably damaged an extra building, and damaging an extra building means that our second hack would not go as planned. Make sure you keep the delay. Too many lasers, Everspark will die fairly quickly. Now, the only damaged building is that front rocket that's closest to us, so when we hack comes out and we push the hack button again, we know for sure that that second rocket launcher is going down. And now we've cleared a spot by the core. Next up on the radar, we're going to go like this. We're going to drop a smoke right here. We're going to drop all of these troops in. Now, those zmoTs don't care about smoke, as you very likely know. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop out of smoke. We're going to throw a shock there and a shock there, and just try to clear all of the things we possibly can. I'm going to flare that Doom Cannon simply because Doom Cannons take troops in bunches, whereas zmoTs only take them one at a time. So that should set us up a little bit better for some GBE. Now, I am like 94% sure that I did not boost my artillery tribe, which means that all of this stuff is happening and I am wasting my cells here. So now that that's done, I'm going to throw a barrage over in here and get some extra shock mines cleared. There's a lot of work to do still. I'm not super convinced this is the right way to do it, but like watching a train wreck, we're just going to keep moving forward, see how this can go. Those mortars back there are going to be problematic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to Grenadiers. It's a little bit awkward, a little bit unusual, because typically I stick to one troop loadout, but hopefully you have the time today, the patience today to switch up your troops, or you have instant training. Instant training just makes Boom Beach so much more fun. That is not me trying to sell it so that you put my code in the creator code. That is just sheer honesty. Boom Beach, I don't know if half the people I know would still be playing if they didn't have instant training. It just makes it so much more instant gratification of goodness. Now, clearing all of these flamethrowers would have been easier and faster using Zookas, most definitely. Also, we still have to deal with that shock launcher behind the core. There's a lot of work left to do, and I did not plan this terribly well. Also, my Grenadiers, unboosted Grenadiers, low-level Grenadiers, not doing a ton of damage, so we might have to give this a second go with another low to mid-level account just to try a different approach. But again, car crash at the moment. Do stick around. Let me know how you did it. Max levels, not terribly difficult. Bullet will distract all of those lasers. We'll also try that, so stick around for that bit of goodness. There is just so many lasers there, and when you can get lasers locked onto Bullet, you can have a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to do for those ones. I'm also probably going to do sort of like the red line open, if you've ever seen the red line open done with Bombardiers. That's my general thoughts at the moment, but so far we've lost 0 troops, getting lots and lots of cells, which is going to get you lots and lots of gears, which is going to get you the reward. So even if you don't finish War Factory today, which I don't think a lot of people will not finish it today, by going left, you're going to get lots of points, lots of gears, and that's going to set you up for the rewards, which that is just as important for low levels. Beating War Factory is a nice cherry on top, but do make sure that you go out and get those rewards at the very least. Now, actually, I flared too close. Don't go into that corner, because your Grenadiers are going to bunch up too much, and they're going to play hot potato, and they're going to kill one another. So don't get too close to buildings with Grenadiers. Now, if you've never used Grenadiers, I think I've said this a lot in the last couple of weeks, but do use Grenadiers. They are awesome sauce. They will make your attacks better, and you don't lose any troops on PvP using Grenadiers at a low level, because now people have like one boom cannon, and their rockets are generally lowish level, so all you need to worry about is their low-level snipers, don't care, and their boom cannons, and then you're good to go. Now, our Grenadiers should be out of range of everything, I think, thanks to the offset provided by those shield gens, and now we're just going to chuck into this big, massive field of mortars. Like, we shouldn't lose any troops right now, and we should really loosen up those mortars. That was what I was trying to do. Oh, we just lost almost a troop. That simply by them bunching up. Yeah, we lost 2 Grenadiers. Those mortars probably should be shocked, because we've got enough GBE to do so. Now we're just going to hang out here for a little bit. Maybe we could throw a universal remote? What the heck? Let's try that. Universal remote, not likely to take that building down, but hopefully it can distract it enough. Actually, it is going to take it down. Look at that. So these shield gens, this is sort of like, if you've ever seen Fang opened, this is exactly like that. Don't throw your gunboat energy onto those shield generators, because you need those shield generators to create an offset for your troops. And now our troops can just chuck and destroy those mortars at will. There is no way a low level could take these mortars down so easily without losing a ton of troops or using a ton of gunboat energy. So I highly recommend using Grenadiers for this exact reason. Look at that. Mortar just barely hanging on. Now I don't have troop health, which is, I need to get my gunboat energy out. We're going to throw all of our gunboat energy back here as fast as we can, because I was not paying enough attention, and we didn't get the shock launcher down, but at least all of our barrages landed, which was key number 1. We got 2 more attacks. I'm going to keep going with these Grenadiers. You might think I'm crazy, but they are going to work out for us, and they're going to get rid of those mortars, and that's going to be the easiest possible way to do it. So we're just going to keep going wide left. The reason why we're going wide is because of those zmo's. zmo's, a nice addition to the game. I really do both hate them and enjoy them, so that is a good indication that they did a good job. Now, if anyone out there has done some good April Fool's Day stuff, please do let me know. I don't necessarily like to partake or to be fooled, and it is a this year is just as bad as the last, it feels like. I'm not sure if you heard the doorbell. 2020 there was no time for April Fool's Day in 2020, and 2021 sort of feels the same way, as I have kids knocking on my door because my kids are slightly late in leaving for the schooling. So we're going to move up into here. I'm going to throw one more hack out because that mortar is a little bit close. Now, we're just clearing all of this stuff. And what clearing those mortars is going to do for us is it's actually, I need to back Everspark off so she doesn't die. Also going to keep our medics the heck out of there. And we've got a nice path to walk all the way to the core, and that should give us a couple, like a 3-shock core hit. We're also going to get rid of this machine gun because it's in our way, and I still have not boosted that tribe. Now, this is probably the most convoluted, complex way I've ever done the War Factory, but I think that's kind of a bonus. I kind of like the fact that it's more difficult, more interesting than the usual week. So all of our Grenadiers are likely going to die in the next couple seconds. I don't think they can take a mortar shot, but look at Everspark's critters just coming in, keeping things busy. Look at this. Oh, not bad, actually. Mortar's not doing all that much damage. Everspark standing ever so slightly in front, but look at the Grenadiers just getting pummeled. Everspark can take a hit. The Grenadiers cannot. So Everspark upgrading your heroes' levels, showing off their usefulness right there. Everspark distracting all of the mortars, and we're likely going to get all of these mortars down, which is going to be a huge, huge boost because we're not going to have to smoke past them. So at this point, we are going to retreat, and I'm going to throw one last artillery on that machine gun. This is looking good. You might have been wondering what the heck I was doing, but look at this. We've gotten 71 gears. We've got a nice, easy path towards the core, and we should be absolutely, absolutely golden. Now, look at this. We've gotten every single reward, so even if you fail at this point, it doesn't matter. Now, it is a little bit dangerous because we've only got one hit on the core, and at least we don't have to worry about lasers, though. We've got this big, huge walking spot to go all the way back around. Brick is probably going to die to that zmoT, and then we're going to hit the core with 1 shock there, 1 shock here, and 1 shock here. 3 shocks, only 36 gunboat energy, so even if you have the world's crappiest gunboat energy masterpiece, kind of like me, you're going to be A-okay. Next up, all we need to do is complete the walk. So Brick being faster than Zookas is going to be a bit of a problem, so we're going to have to throw a couple extra flares trying to keep Brick alive. And what you want to do is you want to keep Brick walking further than your Zookas. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Basically, we're going to keep flaring where our Zookas are going to go, let Brick walk on ahead, and then before she gets into that zmoT's range, we're going to flare back in there. And now we're going to come along into here, hoping that our Zookas are far enough ahead of everyone else. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. It looks like Brick's about to get wrecked. Watch this. Oh, look at that. Yep, Brick is going to die. Surprise, surprise, surprise. No, Brick actually managed to make it through all of those zmoTs. I am absolutely shocked right now. Brick never makes it past zmoTs. Now we're going to flare the core. 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks. Uh-oh. We didn't have enough gunboat energy for those extra shocks. Look at this. We got wrecked. I thought for sure we were going to have enough gunboat energy, but I got destroyed. War Factory fail after all of that. So, such a mistake. Such sadness. And that is why I always hit War Factory with an extra attack. So, if we watch this quickly here, you'll notice that, let's just watch my attack log here. That was sad, sad news. Holy crow. So what I should have done there is let some troops get eaten up by the zmoT and by the boom cannon. I smoked way too early. Needed my first smoke to be somewhere about where these factory supplies are. And if you watch, I throw a smoke right there. 1, 2, probably could have saved 1 smoke, and all those extra flares cost me all of the GBE required for 3 shocks. So there's your April Fool's trick right there. It is zmoT failing on War Factory. Hopefully you can take that attack and make it better. We're going to pause, come back with another account. Back in just 1 second. Okay, next up, we are going to use all Bombardiers, and we are going to use Mr. Brick, Mr. Bullet, maybe he is Mr. Brick, who knows. We're going to send him in and use his taunt, and we're just going to try our best to do something absolutely ridiculous and absolutely fun all at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop a flare right into there, and then we're just going to hang out for a while. Like, we're going to hang out until the flare gets to about 50%, and then we're going to go something like this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to drop Mr. Bullet into there. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible drop. And then we're going to just wait, and we're going to wait, and we're going to wait, and we're going to wait. Now, look at that flare. See how that flare is about to expire? I dropped him a little bit early, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to drop all of our Bombardiers over into here, and I meant to use a different flare. We're going to need to throw a medkit. This is not going as I had hoped. This is not going well at all, as a matter of fact. Bullet just hanging out, taunting every single grappler. I mean, not grappler, those are called laser beams. And so what he's going to do is he's just going to stand there, and he's going to keep, all the lasers are going to lock on him until he dies. It is that simple. Doesn't matter if he's taunting or not. The only reason why he's taunting is so that he can stay alive a little bit longer. Taunting reduces his damage, keeps him alive. I probably should have brought some medics or some grenadiers. I absolutely screwed this attack up, but that is the theme of the day, kind of, sort of, not on purpose. So attack number 1, complete and utter failure. You know what? I'm not even going to finish this. I'm going to retreat. We're going to switch accounts, and I'm going to come back and do this again, and hopefully not screw up as terribly, terribly awful as I just did. Speaking of awful, this is not awful. Managed to get my second account into gold yesterday at the 3-engine room level. Skipping all of that, though, we're going to come back and we're going to do this in a far... Now, this is what everyone out there is screaming right now. This is just heaven for Scorchers. Send 16 Scorchers up the right-hand side. You're golden. Also, you probably can't barrage those back there. Nonetheless, we are going to use Grenadiers, or Bombardiers and some medics, and we're going to try to do this again, and I'm hopefully not going to screw up this time because that was awful. Now, medics are not a good idea because they're going to go see Bullet. Let's just try and do this ever so slightly better because so far, not so good. That was awful. I really hope this goes better, and if not, we're just going to run with it and finish this off with Scorchers, because Bombardiers are not necessarily the right choice at all because they don't have a ton of health. I was going to say that I was using Vampire Zookas, but just as a haha April Fool's Day. But again, March 32nd in the house. We're going to ignore all that noise. Now, what I'm curious is if I can actually look at that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do this slightly better. Last time when I put Bullet out there, he was sitting where all of the things were going to be a problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, and we're going to do this, and it's going to be magical and awesome and impressive and all of the things. Now we're going to drop Brick right in here, and we're going to go right into there, and hopefully that flare is going to expire in time, and we're going to be able to taunt, and it's going to get all of the lasers. There we go. Look at that. So the flare has expired. At this point, right about now, we can drop all of the things, and we can shock those flamethrowers right there, and Bullet is just going to hang in there. And look at all of these lasers, just ignoring everything except for Bullet, and it's amazing. And this is exactly what I was hoping to do the first time, but it did not go super duper well. Now you'll notice that the lasers don't care if he's taunted or not. All they care about is the fact that he is there. The rocket launchers definitely care if he's taunted or not. But as you see there, it did not go as well as I would have hoped. But still, that was pretty awesome, just showing off how lasers lock onto their targets. And I mean, it could have been far, far better, but still, I'm pretty happy with that. Simply as a way to show off how Bullet can distract all of the things. And rather than having to wait for the smokes to expire and stuff, now we're just going to drop all of the things, and we're going to come... You know what? Let's just go like that. That sounds good to me. Bullet is going to come in using his shock knuckles. Now, I've seen a lot of people asking lately, what is the best ability for Bullet with Scorchers? I personally like shock knuckles, and the reason for that is it keeps Bullet in front of all of the Scorchers, or some of the Scorchers. Otherwise, he falls behind way, way too much. Now, he does die a fair bit. This has only become useful since Bullet became... what's that called? But since Scorchers became available as being able to get 2 Scorchers per boat, and shock knuckles do get fairly expensive fairly quickly, so this is not a long-term solution, but it is sort of... See how he falls behind? Now we click the shock knuckles, and he catches up and gets somewhere close to the rest of the troops. We are about to lose all of our Zookas, but that's fine. Zookas were just there to save us a little bit of gunboat energy. We're going to throw some critters back in here to distract those boom cannons for a couple seconds, and then we're just going to wait as our Scorchers burn all of the things. So let me know how you did War Factory. Lots and lots of options. Not many of the good ones were covered by me, but I really, really did like the second way we did it with Bullet, because that is just so sexy, and it just shows off how Bullet and lasers can interact together. Any troop and lasers, really. Now, what we need to do is we need to go get rid of this shock launcher right here, because it is causing us all sorts of problems. Instant training once more, showing off just how useful it can be as far as all of the good things. Now, I would force close right now, but we're just going to let all of our troops die instead. Going to quickly get rid of that shock mine as we wait for all of our Scorchers to blow up and do some extra damage onto the core. You know what? Let's not even wait. Just going to get rid of all of this stuff, come back in with a different troop. This week is all about using multiple troops. Apparently, we are already at 22 minutes. If you are still watching, please throw the hang loose emoji into the comments down below, because I have just wasted so much gold. It's ridiculous. Now we're going to come back with Brick and some warriors and finish this puppy off. Now, Brick is slower than warriors, I should say. So we're going to drop Brick first. We're then going to drop her over into here. And then we are going to smoke all of our warriors right to about there. We're going to go smoke, 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 getting all of our dudes onto the core just so that we can get... Look at that. She manages to step back. Of course, she pulls off the step back maneuver. Now we're just going to burn through all of this goodness using our warriors. And not your typical... March 32nd comes once every 10 years, hopefully once every 100 years. Really, really hoping that next year I am more in the mood to be some silliness. 2020, 2021 not going super duper well, so sticking to March 32nd, kind of like we had February the 29th, leap year, leap century, whatever you want to call it. Nonetheless, War Factory done in a few different ways. Low levels, I really think you got to go left. If you have the guts to go right as a low level, I applaud you, but those lasers are going to eat your tanks, your low-level Scorchers. It's just going to ruin your morning, afternoon, evening, night. Anyways, I am zmoT. Thank you for coming up in. Hit me up in the comments. Little bit different today, but like I said, March 32nd and all that good stuff. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm zmoT. Peace.